devotees. So today we are beginning Canto 6, the first chapter, the history of the life of Ajamila. So this is a special canto of all the cantos. Sixth canto is actually the hope-giving canto. Among many small books that Srila Prabhupada had compiled, there was a book known as The Second Chance. So that book is all about near-death experience, out-of-body experience, and reincarnation. So basically, the second chance is about reincarnation. A person who already practiced bhakti but not perfected will again get new life immediately in the association of devotees, so that they'll be able to practice bhakti from the very beginning. And this entire canto is like that, a hope-giving canto. So, in spite of being very uh, sinful in one character or selfish motivated in one personality and so much deviant in one thought process, still if one is on the right path, the Supreme Lord gives one the second chance so that one can rectify one's own mistake and move ahead and go ahead on the path of perfection. So this canto will talk about many devotees who have got such kind of second chance and who have utilized that second chance properly and went back to Godhead. So in that way, this canto will give us a hope giving canto. So even though sometimes knowingly or unknowingly we may do so many and unwanted things, but still one should feel regret about that and then move on in the path of bhakti. So one is given another opportunity to rectify oneself and move on. So in that way. So in this canto, we'll see so many personalities such as Ajamila in the first three chapters. How Ajamila, even though he had left behind the training that he had got in his family life, in his from his parents, even though he was born in Brahmana's family, he was completely deviated. But still, because of some good fortune in his life, he had got second chance and he attained perfection. And then there was a story about Daksha. Daksha wanted to serve the Lord with good intention, but in serving so, he had committed an offense against Narada Muni. Previously committed against offense against Lord Shiva. Same as a result of that, it carried forward all the way up to committing another offense against Narada Muni. So the problem is that Daksha wanted to do service in a particular way. So he thought that he assumed this is the right way. There is no other way to do to serve the Lord. So if somebody else is doing some other way, he was not happy in that. Whatever he believed, he thought that is ultimate. So everyone should follow in that way only. So in that way, anyway, he committed an offense long back unto Lord Shiva. He begged forgiveness, but still some traces were there. As a result of that, he became so adamant, and he ended up with committing another offense to Narada Muni. But still, he's a great person. We cannot unnecessarily point fingers at Daksha. He's still serving himself and engaging his own descendants in the service of Supreme Lord. So the only one thing is that he thought this is the only way to serve the Lord. But Lord Brahma comes and rectifies him. No, there is other way also. You should accept. That is also correct. This is also correct. So do in such a way that others will not cause trouble to you. So like that, Lord Brahma suggesting him what to do properly, engaged him in the proper service of the Supreme Lord. So in that way, Daksha also uh, uh, engaged in the service of Supreme Lord. Since Daksha is the son of Lord Brahma, his lifespan is also as long as that of Brahma. So we don't hear that Daksha going back to Godhead. Daksha is here only, he will be here only till the end of Brahma's lifespan, because his service is like that. The nature of his service is that service has to be rendered throughout the tenure of the entire universe. They'll be keep doing that service for the entire lifespan of Brahma. So sometimes here and there, because of that kind of rigid mentality, one may commit mistakes, one may find fault with others. But eventually, after hard struggle, one will learn what is right, what is not right, and one will attain perfection. There is a discussion about Daksha also, and then there is a discussion about uh, Indra. Indra is also a great devotee. Since he wanted to serve the Lord by being Indra, that is his problem. He thought by being Indra only I can serve properly. Otherwise, I will not be able to serve. So something causing disturbance to that particular seva, he becomes unstable. He becomes undisturbed, and he goes to an extent of even killing his own appointed guru. So at one point of time, he accepted Vishwarupa to be his guru. So Vishwarupa is doing something not liking to Indra. So Indra killed him, Vishwarupa also. But it took the responsibility of killing Vishwarupa. But whatever it is, so उनका एक ही problem है. I want to serve the Lord in this way only. Just like Daksha also had a problem, Indra also had that problem. So I want to serve by being Indra, not other way. So any problem coming to that position, he gets disturbed. That is there. And then there is a discussion about Vritrasura and King Chitraketu. So Chitraketu Maharaj himself, he was also as a king. He thought that I am a king, I am supposed to have children so that they will continue the kingdom in a religious way. He was trying hard, trying hard. Even the great sages came. They wanted to give him some good sense of understanding of purpose of human life, but he was not able to hear. So they told him, "Okay, you have a son. Through son, he will realize everything." He had the son, and he realized everything. And eventually, he became king of Vidyadharas. Then eventually, he had become Vrutrasura. By becoming Vrutrasura, he attained perfection. That was his second chance. So it's like that. So one may have one kind of understanding that I should do like this, I do like this. Everyone, all of us, uh, will have to go through that examination, that testing. And finally, there was a discussion about Diti. Diti had two children, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, who were killed by, who actually became the rulers of three lokas. But Indra, requesting Lord Vishnu, annihilated Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, and Diti became angry. ए कैसे कैसे अभी बैठने का क्या मेरा पुत्र नहीं बैठ सकते. So she approached her husband requesting that I want to have a son who will kill Indra. Again the husband, last time only he had problem. Last time also she said I want children. I want two children. My co-wives have children. I don't have any children. And their children are glorified and they are sitting in the throne of Indra and all these things. She had children because she insisted that her husband should beget children at a wrong time. Now also again she is approaching him for a son who can kill Indra. So this time Kashyapa, last time he just spoke some words of wisdom, but she did not listen. But this time he did not speak much. He engaged her in such a way that she will get purified in due course of time. So she was engaged in service of Supreme Lord through the means of this Payovrata ceremony. No, Pumshavana Varta ceremony. And as a result of that, eventually her heart became purified and she gave birth to 49 sons. And the 49 sons became Devatas, which was her original desire. She originally wanted to have children who will be respected as Devatas. Her desire was good, but intention was not good. Initially, she was desiring with a competitive mentality. But now, by serving the Lord through this Pumshavana Vrata ceremony, her heart is purified As a result of that, she begot 49 sons, not one, two, 49 sons, and they all became devatas. So that is like this. These different pastimes will show us how all these personalities, in spite of having some difficulties in their life, but Bhakti is so magnanimous. Bhakti always overlooks one's mistakes and gives us the second chance to correct ourselves. So that is the whole thing of this canto 6. So the story of every person, there is so much to learn. So in summary, this canto talks about the protection given to people who transgress the law of dharma and the devotees is called Poshana by the wise. So just like we were seeing, the second canto, Sukadeva Goswami introduced the 10 topics of Bhagavatam. And he said Sarga and Visarga are talked about in canto 3, canto 4, and also some part of canto 5. Sarga, Visarga. And then Sthanam is explained in the second part of the fifth canto. Now, in the sixth canto, Poshana will be explained. Poshana means how the Lord maintains, not exactly maintenance, how Lord takes care of his surrendered souls, the devotees. When a person becomes devotee and while practicing bhakti and also things associated with bhakti, karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, or bhakti yoga, any sadhanas, uh, sometimes circumstantially or by accidentally or because of one's own psychophysical nature, one may make some mistake. But bhakti, whatever bhakti one executes, that bhakti overlooks that mistake, overlooks that accidental or unintentional, conditional fault. And then the same bhakti gives one the second chance to correct oneself and progress in one's path of bhakti. So that is called Poshna. So when a person becomes a devotee, Bhakti Devi or the Supreme Lord himself or Bhakti Devi herself will take the responsibility of taking care of them. Even though they make mistakes, Bhakti Devi will give us the second chance. Giving protection to Ajamila, Indra, Maruts, and Chitraketu Maharaj. Sixth canto shows the Lord's affection for his devotee. Actually, here some names are missing. First Ajamila, then Daksha, then Indra, then Chitraketu Maharaj. In the bracket, we can say Vritrasura. Then not actually Maruts, it is actually Diti. So especially for Diti. Sixth canto shows the Lord's affection for his devotee. So how Lord becomes affectionate to his devotees, even though they make mistakes, Lord forgives them and gives them second chance. Okay, correct, correct. Since Ajamila is considered a devotee, and Indra, even though he was offensive to his guru, is also considered a devotee. All these first ones are devotees only. Ajamila, Daksha, Indra, Putrasura, and Diti. So externally we may give a tag to them. Yeah, Vrutrasura is a Asura. His name itself is Asura. Diti is the mother of Asura. So Indra is always after his position, and Ajamila is a sinful person. Like that, we may give a tag. But they are also devotees. They started bhakti. In between, there was some detour. But that bhakti will bring them back to correct path and then takes them ahead. So this is in essence Canto 6. There are total 19 chapters. So the first 2 3 chapters will take a little more time. That is talking about the glories of holy name, etc. We'll spend little more time on these 3 chapters, and remaining chapters we try to do in a faster manner. So like that. So this is about the brief overview of the first canto, not first chapter. But anyway, before going further, any questions? You are able to follow what we are trying to discuss?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Other
Very
devotees?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, it's good. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
No problem. So, so if no one has any questions, we'll move on. This is the bigger chapter. About 68 verses are there. So basically, in the beginning, first few verses, it establishes the philosophy. It establishes the glories of bhakti. It establishes the superlative position of bhakti in comparison to karma yoga and jnana yoga. So having stated that, having established that, later on it gives the proof. How and why? The proof is given in terms of narrating the story of Ajamila. So that's how this entire chapter goes on. So first, so taking the connection from the previous canto, Parikshit Maharaj is going to make some inquiries. In the fifth canto, we have seen there is the elaborate description of the entire universe, but the canto concludes by saying, by discussing about the different kinds of hellish punishments. So Parikshit Maharaj hears all those different kinds of hellish punishment that are awarded to the people who commit some sinful activities. Being a Vaishnava, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport for the first verse, the Vaishnavas are the Paradukha Dukhi. So being a Vaishnava, he's asking, these people are committing so many mistakes, so many sinful activities. As a result, they are going through intense pain. Please tell me how they can avoid all these sinful reactions. By what they can stay away from such kind of unbearable pain or suffering in the hell. That will be his compassion upon so committing upon the punishment that is given to the sinful conditioned souls. So with that, the chapter starts and then it enters into a beautiful conversation, beautiful discussion. Sri Parikshit Uvacha. One of you can unmute and repeat after me if it is okay for you. Sri Parikshit Uvacha. Nivritti
Sri
Marga.
Parikshit,
Yeah, go ahead.
Sri
Nivrit,
Sri Parikshit Vaja,
Nivritti Marga Katita.
Nivritti Marga Katita,
Adau Bhagavata Yata.
Ado Bhagavata Yatha,
Karmayogopalabdena.
Karma Yogopaladena,
Brahmana Yad Asamsriti.
Brahmana Yat Asamsriti. Hare Krishna.
Read, read the translation.
Hare Krishna. Translation. Maharaja Parikshit said, O my lord, O Sukadev Goswami, you have already described in the second canto the path of liberation, Nivritti Marga. By following that path, one is certainly elevated gradually to the highest planetary system, Brahma Loka, from which one is promoted to the spiritual world along with Lord Brahma. Thus, one's reputation of birth and death in the material world ceases. Hare Krishna.
So here Parikshit Maharaj, taking a quick summary of whatever you heard till now, he is going to make an inquiry. You have already described the path of liberation. By gradually progressing on that path properly, one ends material existence along with Brahma. So there was a discussion about this particular path of liberation in the beginning of the second canto, in the first chapter, second chapter, about how a yogi practicing Ashtanga Yoga attains liberation either instantly or gradually. That was talked about there. And also the same thing is again mentioned in the 32nd chapter of the third canto, the gradual progression, gradual going back to Godhead. So this is was mentioned in the third canto and the second canto, different places. So thus one attains liberation. Yes, that is the traditional path of perfection, following Nishkama Karma Yoga as a householder, then taking on to Vanaprastha or Sannyas order, and then practicing Jnana Yoga, and then eventually when one attains sufficient amount of renunciation by performing different types of tapasya, with that Vairagya, one practices Ashtanga Yoga, and then with the help of Bhakti Yoga, one attains Rajyamukti. So one is freed from all material miseries. That is indicated there in those sections. The fifth canto describes Thana, the maintenance of the inhabitants of Bhuloka, Patala and heavenly planets, who are situated there with their rules. Some connection from the previous canto to current canto. So the fifth canto talked about Sthana, is actually talking about the maintenance of the entire universe under the supervision of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, under the able management of Devatas. The protection given to people who transgress the laws of Dharma and the devotees is called Poshana by the wise. So, Shivadaksha Vishnu, with the help of all the Devatas, he is maintaining the entire universe. That is the general maintenance, looking after the people, whatever they are supposed to get according to their karma, providing them accordingly. That is normal maintenance. But among all the people, some people who have become devotees, after becoming devotees, if they make some mistakes, then bhakti acts upon them. Otherwise, people in general, when they make some mistake, the law of karma or law of dharma acts upon them. But after a person becomes devotee, then if the devotee makes a mistake, the law of karma, law of dharma, give that responsibility of looking after that person to Bhakti Devi. So Bhakti Devi herself will take care of them. So that is a question. So in the way. So normal maintenance is called sthana. The special taking care of the devotees is called poshana. Either Lord or Lord's Bhakti Devi will directly take care of the devotees. That is poshana. Sinful Ajamila is considered as a devotee, and Indra, even though he was offensive to Guru, is also considered a devotee. Giving protection to Ajamila and Indra as well as Chitraketu in 19 chapters of the 6th canto. 19 chapters. The 6th canto shows Lord's affection for his devotee. So in these 19 chapters, the 6th canto talks about how Lord becomes so affectionate to his devotees. Even though they make mistakes, Lord personally corrects them and helps them in coming close to him, coming to his own abode. So in that way. Hearing of the suffering of men falling to hell, King Parikshit became compassionate to them. He reveals that he has understood the meaning of what was previously explained in order to produce enthusiasm in Sukadeva Goswami, so that he would answer his question about how to deliver those suffering in English parenthesis. So basically, Sukadeva Parikshit Maharaj also kind of giving back report. So my dear sir, till now you have spoken these things. I have understood all these things. Just now you spoken about something. So please tell me how can they be saved from this unfortunate condition? So by giving that report, in the sense that okay, whatever you have spoken till now, that is all I've understood. And can you please talk in a little bit more detail about this particular thing? The speaker becomes enthusiastic to continue to speak and give more details about that. So in that way, Parishit Maharaj is giving a quick summary of what he had heard from Sukadeva Goswami till now, beginning from the beginning of second canto. Yata means suitably. Sukadeva Goswami mentioned the path of liberation in the following verses. So some references where Sukadeva Goswami spoke about what Parishit Maharaj is saying here. So this is a verse from second canto, second chapter, how a yogi, by the practice of Ashtanga Yoga, gradually progresses to Vaishvanara Loka. From then passing through the heavenly planets and passing in the enters into Maharloka, then Janaloka, then Tapaloka, then Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and then Satyaloka. Eventually, either he can attain liberation, he or she can attain liberation immediately, or can attain liberation along with Lord Brahma. It is a gradual process. O king, the yogi, having gone by the path of Brahmaloka, goes to Vaishvanara by means of the ether. Though the luminaries of the Shishuma, through the luminaries of the Shishumna Nadi, being free of all desires, he then approached the Shishumara constellation, above which he is related to the Lord. So basically, as Bhagavad Gita, it talks about the path of light at the end of the 8th chapter. There is a discussion about the path of darkness and path of light. Those people who give their life, give up their body during daytime in the presence of light, sunlight or moonlight or fire, or in Shukla Paksha, during Uttarayana 6 months, they will attain liberation and they will never come back. That is mentioned there. Same thing here also. So how they go there? First, they will take the shelter of sun god, because during Uttarayana, the sun is going towards north. So taking the help of sun, that yogi goes towards north on the direction passing through heaven. He comes to the abode of uh, uh, Lord Vishnu, Yodaksha Vishnu, that is Dhruvaloka. So then, passing through that, he will come to Maharloka, then Janaloka, then Tapaloka, and then finally Satyaloka, the abode of Lord Brahma. Having come there, whether he can go to Brahman immediately or he can stay there with Brahma for some time and then eventually, finally, at the end of the day, Brahma can attain liberation. That kind of discussion was there in the second canto, second chapter. So the same thing is again mentioned in the third canto, 32nd chapter. Here also the same thing, the path of perfection by the practice of Nishkama Karma Yoga, followed by Jnana Yoga, followed by Ashtanga Yoga. How they attain perfection gradually. There also the same topic has been discussed. Those intelligent people who do not desire the results of their prescribed actions for Artha and Kama, having offered all results to Supreme Lord, free from attachment and peaceful and pure in consciousness. So who will be qualified to attain this perfection? Simple. Here, ye swadharma na duyanti dhira kamartha hetave. Swadharma means varnashrama dharma. When a person as a householder executes one's grihastha dharma, whatever varna may be, but one as a grihastha, one executes one's varna and ashrama dharma properly and without any attachment to enjoy the results. One is performing one's dharma not for artha and kama, not for material artha and material kama. Instead, one is executing one's dharma with an intention to attain moksha. Dharmasai apavargasya, na artho arthaya upakalpate. As at the beginning of the Bhagavatam Sutta Goswami says that one should execute one's dharma, one's varnashrama dharma for attaining apavarga, not for artha and kama, not for going to heaven and enjoy. Because Shastra clearly says that if one executes one's grihastha dharma properly, whichever varna one may be Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, Shudra, whichever varna may be, if one executes one's grihastha dharma properly, as a default remuneration, one is promoted to Swarga after this lifetime. Obviously, in the next life, one gets birth in Swarga and enjoys as long as their piety is there. But on the other hand, without having any desire to go to Swarga and enjoy, and people who are performing dharma without intention to enjoy artha and kama, but with the intention to attain moksha, the fourth one, the fourth purushartha. Only such kind of people are qualified to attain perfection, not others. Others who are practicing dharma, who are giving charities, who are doing pious activities to get some punya and enjoy opulence in this life or in the next life in heaven. Not that kind of people. And this kind of people are called as Shuddha Chesa. Nissanga Nesta Karmana Prashanta Shuddha Chesa. They are Prashanta because they don't have any material desires, they don't have any material hankering so much to accumulate here. Instead, they are completely peaceful and they are Shuddha Chesa. Since they don't have any material hankerings and their only intention is to attain perfection, that's called Shuddha Chesa, purified consciousness. So then what kind of qualities they have? Nivritti Dharma Nirata. This kind of dharma is called Nivritti Dharma. Though it is Swadharma according to one's psychophysical nature, according to one's Varna and Ashrama, but they are performing dharma for attaining moksha. And that kind of dharma is called Nivritti Dharma, or we can say Nivritti Marga. It is not a pravritti marga. It is not the intention to get something in return immediately or in the next life. They are doing everything with the sole intention to attain perfection and attain moksha. So that's why it is called nivritti dharma. Nivritti dharma nirata nirmama. Such kind of people have no mama, no aham mameti, nirmama. The problem of bondage is aham mamatva. Hey, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine, this is mine. And we become attached and we remain here only. When there is no mama, then only one can give up this world and go back to spiritual world. As long as there is mamatva, one stays here only. And then nirahankrita, no identity. This is mamatva, this is ahamta. I am this, I am that, I am this, I am that. One will remain here only. So in that way. Swadharmaptena satvena parishuddhena chetsa, with purified consciousness. When one offers all the results of one's dharma, one's executed activities unto Supreme Lord for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, one's heart is completely purified. That is called Parashuddhena Chetasa. One's consciousness is completely purified. And these people are qualified to attain moksha. They execute all one's dharmas as per one's varna and especially Grihastha ashrama, not for enjoyment, not for getting something in this life and in the next life in the heaven, but only with the intention to attain moksha, nivritti dharma. That kind of people are by executing all the activities as an offering to Supreme Lord will have their heart completely purified. Satvena parishuddhena chetasa. And then what? Surya dvarena te yanti purusham vishvato mukam. Vishvato mukam means the universal form, the entire universe consisting of 14 planetary systems. Among all the 14 planetary systems, currently this person is in Bhuloka and practicing sadhana of Nishkama Karma Yoga. Eventually, he takes onto Vanaprastha order, Sannyasa order, and takes onto different kinds of austerities while practicing Jnana Yoga, and he develops enough amount of Vairagya. Then he develops the intense desire to attain moksha immediately, no more in this world. Then he takes on Ashtanga Yoga. With that Ashtanga Yoga practices, he raises his prana from Muladhara Chakra to Ajna Chakra, then Manipura Chakra, Anat Chakra, and then Swadhisthana Chakra, and then finally Ajna Chakra, and pierces into Brahmakapal. He comes out of the body, leaving the body there. He takes shelter of sun. Surya Dwarena He Yanti Purusham Vishwatamukam. During the Uttarayana Punyakal, he takes the shelter of sun. As sun is going towards north, he also goes towards north, passing through Bhuloka, Bhurloka, and Sargaloka. Then sun will take him all the way up to Saptarishi Mandal. From there, he moves on. He Paravesham Prakritam Astyotpatti Anta Bhavanam. So he moves on, passing through Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, and then passing through 7 universal layers: earth, water, fire, air, ether, Ahankara, and Mahatattva. Then enters into Brahman, building through Supreme Lord, Sahajya Mukti at last. That was the process. So these people are called as intelligent people. Those intelligent people who do not desire the results of their prescribed actions for Artha and Kama, having offered all results to Supreme Lord, free of attachment and peaceful and pure in consciousness, engrossed in actions of detachment, Nivritti Dharmena, with no sense of possessiveness, Nirmama, or ego, Nirahankara, with consciousness purified completely, Satvena Parishuddhena Chetasa, having attained Sattva by performance of prescribed duties, Swadharmena Apta Satvena. Okay? By the path of the sun, they attain the perfect Lord, controller of the higher and lower beings, the material and efficient God of the entire universe. Surya Dwarena Te Yanti Purusham Vishwato Mukam Paravara Isham Prakritim Asyotpatti Anta Bhavanam. It is like that. Eventually they attain the Supreme Lord in Sahajya. So this is the traditional path of perfection, which I presented at the beginning of the second canto and at the end of the third canto. I understood that. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. There is a process. They are such kind of people who practice this, they attain perfection. These people don't go to hell. They don't go through all the hellish punishments. Thank you for that. By this gradual path, the person attains liberation along with Brahma. So having gone to Satyaloka, they have two options. Either they can go to Sahyajya Mukti immediately, or they can stay with Brahma till the end of the day of Brahma and then eventually attain Sahyajya Mukti. They also have another option. They can stay with Brahma till the end of Brahma's lifespan. Then along with Brahma, they can attain perfection. Three options they have. It is up to them which option they want to select. So in that way. Brahmana sahate sarve samprapte prati sanchare. Parasyante kritatmana pravishanti pravish pravishati parampadam. This is from Kuno Purana. Those who are on Brahmaloka with exalted status at the time of dissolution go directly to the supreme abode along with Lord Brahma. So they can stay till the end of the day of Brahma, or they can stay till the end of the lifespan of Brahma in Satyaloka, and then along with Brahma they can attain perfection. They enter into Vaikuntha. So it's like that. So this was a quick summary of second and third cantos about the Nivruti Dharma, the process of perfection by practicing Dharma, Varnashrama Dharma. So in that way. So thus, whatever he had understood from second and third cantos, he briefly mentioned in one shloka. Now we will continue saying a few more things.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, can you show the previous slide? Prabhuji, here it is mentioned that the yogi having gone by the path of Brahmaloka goes to Vaishwanara. So this Vaishwanara is outside the universe, na?
No. See. Wait. Vaishwanara, we should take him as sun.
Pardon?
Sun. Yeah. See, you are in Bhuloka. You have to go to Brahmaloka. There is a path. But how will you go? You have to take the help of some vehicle. Either you take the help of flight, you take the help of train or bus. So they are taking the help of Vaishwanara Loka, that is sun planet. Surya Dwarena.
Okay, so he goes to Brahmaloka through by means of Vaishwanara, like that.
By means of Vaishwanara, he will move from Bhuloka all the way up to Sargaloka. He passes from Bhuloka, Bhuvarloka and Sargaloka with the help of Sun God. And afterwards he goes on his own. So it is like that.
Okay, it's through the luminaries of the Sushumna Nadi it is written. So that is also something, the means to go to that thing.
See, Sushumna Nadi means this path of sun in the Uttarayana Punyakala, the path of sun that follows, that is called the Sushumna Nadi, or we can say backbone of the universal form. This is basically the path. It is either is called as Vaishwanara, it is also called as Sushumna Nadi, it is also called as what was that? Shishumara. All are indicating same thing only. According to context, they may use different names, but basically taking the help of sun, one will go pass through Bhuloka, Bhurloka, and Sargaloka.
Okay, so beyond Swargaloka, then this other path will be used, either Sushumna Nadi or this thing like that. Till Swargaloka, it
Yeah,
is the path
Sushumna
of.
Nadi and all they end at Dhruvaloka. They are there up to Dhruvaloka. Afterwards, they'll be taken by some other force of the Supreme Lord.
Okay.
Hmm.
And Prabhuji, like how we see the position of Bhakti Devi with respect to the Lord, because and generally we see all others are the servants of the Lord, but here we mentioned in the beginning also that Bhakti Devi will help even if somebody has done mistakes, and the Supreme Lord also helps. So Bhakti Devi also we see as the servant of the Lord, or how Maya Devi is there like that.
Bhakti Devi means Krupa Shakti, Lord's Krupa Shakti.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Second shloka. Pravrutti Lakshanaschaiva
Pravrutti Lakshanasya
Traigunya Vishayo Mune.
त्रैगुण्य विषयो मुने
योऽसाव अलीन प्रकृतेर्
योऽसावलीन प्रकृतेर्
गुणसर्गा पुनः पुनः.
गुणसर्गा पुनः पुनः. O great sage Shukadev Goswami, unless the living entity is freed from the infection of the material modes of nature, he receives different types of bodies in which to enjoy or suffer. And according to the body, he is understood to have various inclinations. By following these inclinations, he traverses the path called Pravritti Marga, by which one may be elevated to the heavenly planets, as you have already described in the third canto.
Yeah. The previous verse he was summarizing the Nivritti Marga, and in this verse he is summarizing Pravritti Marga. Some people are interested in attaining moksha, and for moksha they performing dharma very sincerely and seriously. But some people are interested in going to heaven, and further they select bona fide paths, practicing dharma in a proper way. By practicing dharma, they will be going to Pravritti dharma, they will go to heaven and Pitraloka, Sargaloka. They will enjoy more opulent life. So this also was spoken. This was spoken in same 32nd chapter of the third canto, and here and there it is also indicated. O sage, the symptoms of material enjoyment is taking repeated bodies in the material world with the object of receiving happiness as Swarga for the purpose who is not for the person who is not free from Maya. So these people are interested in enjoying more and more, but in a bona fide way, in a religious way. They follow the Vedic literature, they follow the prescriptions given in the Vedic literature, they follow Pravritti Dharma, and they are allowed to go to Sarga or Pitraloka, experience higher standard of life. That is there. This also is spoken. You have described in the third canto, especially in the 32nd chapter at the beginning, the symptoms of material enjoyment. Traigunya Vishaya means having the goal of happiness of Sarga. There is repeated birth by the gunas for the person who has not destroyed Prakriti, who is subject to samsara. So what is the ultimately what happens to these people? The previous people, when they attain liberation, they will not come back. But these people, even though they go to Swarga, after their piety is over, they will come back, again take birth, again perform piety, again go to heaven, again enjoy. When their piety is over, again they come back, again they take birth, again perform piety, again go to heaven. So this is continuing again and again. There is no end to it. This cycle is going on for the eternity. So here there is a mention about the same thing in 32nd chapter. With minds attached to this world, with faith in the prescribed duties of the Vedic literature, they perform kama karmas and nitya karmas to the fullest extent. These people mainly follow nitya karmas and kama karmas completely religiously with focused. Full life is dedicated to perform nitya karmas and kama karmas, and they will go to heaven. They will have high standard life. They again come back. They again perform. They go to heaven again come back. So some people are like this. So the people in the mode of goodness, especially in the mode of more goodness, they develop the desire to attain perfection, desire to get moksha. They are practicing nivritti dharma. And people who are in the mode of goodness, but not full mode of goodness, little bit mode of goodness, little bit tinge of mode of passion also. Since there is a combination of mode of goodness and passion, they have the desire to enjoy, but they enjoy in a bona fide way, in a religious, authorized way. Yes, they have this. They follow the Vedas, they perform pious activities, they go to heaven, Pitraloka, enjoy, come back again, perform Vedic literature, Vedic activities, go to heaven, enjoy, and come back. These are Pravritti Marga for people. So Nivritti Marga is over, Pravritti Marga is over. So people in the mode of goodness, but with more amount of goodness, they are in the Nivritti Marga. People in the mode of goodness plus little bit passion, they are in the Pravritti Marga. And people in the mode of passion and also passion plus ignorance, they also want to enjoy, but sometimes they follow religious texts, sometimes they don't follow, sometimes they want to attain shortcuts, and the activity they perform are called as sinful activities. The first category people, their activities are called Nishkama Karma Yoga. The second category people who their activities are called Sakama Karma. The third category of people about whom it is going to discuss, their activities are called adharma, sinful activities. These are mainly in the mode of passion plus ignorance. So, because whatever it is, we are all influenced by three modes, but various amount of different modes will influence us. So, accordingly, one's activities are decided according to the modes in which we are situated. Our selection of activities will be done. That is the case. Now, third shloka about third category of people. Adharma lakshana anana. Adharma lakshana anana.
Adharma lakshana anana.
Narakastanuvartina.
Narakastanuvarnita.
Okay. Manvantarascha vyakhyata.
Manvantarashcha vyakhyata.
Adaya swayambhuvo yata.
Adaya swayambhuvo yatha. You have also described at the end of fifth canto the varieties of hellish life that result from impious activities, and you have described in the fourth canto the first Manvantara, which was preceded over by Swayambhuva Manu, the son of Lord Brahma.
Yeah, you talked about Nivritti Marga. You talked about Pravritti Marga. You also talked about Adharma Marga. So the people who perform adharmic activities, they end up in hellish life. So, and you also talked about uh, the Swayambhuva Manvantara. You talked about the different personalities who appeared in Swayambhuva Manvantara. First, Swayambhuva Satarupa. After their marriage, they had 5 children. Akuti, Prasuti, Devahuti. Their children also explained. And they have 2 sons, Priyavrata, Uttanapada. So Uttanapada's lineage is mentioned in the fourth canto, and fifth canto talks about Priyavrata and his lineage. So in that way, you talked about Swayambhuva Manvantara also. One full Manvantara period, what all happened, which are all the kings appeared, and what kind of religious duties they performed in order to help these three category of people. People in the mode of ignorance, ignorance plus passion, passion plus goodness, goodness. So yes, this is what I've understood. This is my quick summary of what you have spoken till now. So having stated all these things, now Parikshit Maharaj is going to make a inquiry. So this is fine. People in the mode of goodness who are on the path of Nivritti Marga, they are good. They are attaining perfection. People in the mode of goodness, compassion, who are in the path of Parvati Marga, they are also good. So they will realize very soon. They will realize, and they will also come to Nivritti Marga. But the unfortunate are those who are on the path of adharma. So please tell me how they can become dharmic and attain perfection. That will be the inquiry. Priyavrattotana pador
प्रियवृत्तात्मनोपादोर
vamshastarcharitani cha
वंशस्तच्चरितानि च
dvipavarsha samudradri
द्वीपावर्षा समुद्राद्रि
nadi udyana vanaspatin
नादि उद्यान वनस्पति
dharamandala samsthanam
धरामण्डल संस्थानं
bhagalakshana manata
भागलक्षणमानता
ज्योतिषां विवरणां च
ज्योतिषां विवरणां च
यतेदम् असृजद्विभू.
यतेदमसृजद्विभु. My dear Lord, you have described the dynasties and characteristics of King Priyavrata and King Uttanapad. This supreme personality of Godhead created this material world with various universes, planetary systems, planets and stars, with varied lands, seas, oceans, mountains, rivers, gardens and trees, all with different characteristics. These are divided among this planet Earth, the luminaries in the sky, and the lower planetary systems. You have very clearly described these planets and the living entities who live on them.
Yeah, we have discussed about the dynasty of Uttanapada in the fourth canto, the dynasty of Privrata in the fifth canto, and also in the remaining part of the fifth canto, we talked about Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Sargaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Satal, Patal, with so many dvipas, varshas, oceans, mountains, rivers, gardens, trees, and so many things. All these things you have talked about, and the luminaries, conditions of the earth and sky, lower planets, upper planets, and with their dimensions, characteristics, what kind of situations and people, their activities, their prayers, all these things you have spoken. Thank you. So he's again telling about the summary of what else Sudhir Goswami spoke till now. You have explained the islands just as the Lord created them. You have explained the situation of Bhumandala and the luminaries, such as the sun with the divisions, characteristics, and measurements, just as the Lord created them. Just the way the Supreme Lord created and maintaining all of them, you talked about them in detail. Thank you very much. So, like that. So, basically, you have spoken something and I forgot. Not like that. Whatever you have spoken, I've understood everything. I remember everything. Don't think that I'm a casual hearer. I'm attentively hearing. So, be confident that I'm attentively hearing and your speaking is no not waste. So please speak more. In order to enthuse the speaker, Rishit Maharaj is telling that, yeah, you have spoken all these things, I have understood everything thoroughly. Please move on. So in that way. So that is how we can see this. And this is the last verse, I suppose. Parikshit Maharaj is inquiry. Until now, he was quickly summarizing. Now he's, I suppose, he is inquiring now. Okay. Adunena Mahabhaga
अधुनेह महाभाग
Yataiva Narakannara
यथैव नरकान्नरा
Nanograyatananneyat
नानोग्रयातनान्नेयात्
Tanme Vyakyatum
तन्मे व्याख्यातुमर्हसि. O great fortunate and opulent Shukadev Goswami, now kindly tell me how human beings may be saved from having to enter hellish conditions in which they suffer terrible pain.
Yeah, oh greatly fortunate Sukadeva Goswami. Now kindly tell me how human beings may be saved from the terrible pains of hellish condition. Especially the Adharma Shila, Adharma Vartina, how these people can be delivered from going to hell and going through all these kind of hellish punishment, hellish pain and hellish miseries. So please tell me. Please explain how a person can avoid going to these hells which have terrible pain. Just as the means of attaining fortunate and unfortunate results should be known, the means of extinguishing the unfortunate results should be known. So, attaining liberation by practicing pravritti marga, going to swarga. Sorry, attaining liberation is by practicing nivritti marga. Going to swarga is by practicing pravritti marga, and one by practicing adharma, one goes to hell. So there should be a way out also. By practicing dharma, one is going to hell. So what is the way? What is the means by which one can extinguish these unfortunate results that one is going to experience in the hell? How one can avoid them? This is the inquiry. The 10 topics of Bhagavatam were described in SB 210 to 2. The first two verses of the 10th chapter talked about Atra Sarga, Visargascha, Sanam Poshanamotaya, Manvantaresha, Anukata Nirodha, Muktira Ashraya. So, of these 10 topics, the Bhagavatam, three topics, Sarga, Visarga, and Sthana, were already described in the previous cantos, Canto 3, 4, 5. Now, in Canto 6, the fourth topic, Poshana, will be described. Sarga, third canto, chapter 5 to chapter 11. Visarga, Visarga also has two portions. One is Naimita Sushti by Brahma and Nitya Sushti, the Brahma's descendants. So Naimitika Srishti was explained in summarily in chapter 10, chapter 12, and chapter 20. And Nitya Srishti, the further creation by the descendants of Brahmaji. So that is explained from the remaining chapters of third canto, the entire fourth canto, and the first 15 chapters of the fifth canto. They are talking about the how the Srishti is continuing by the descendants, generation after generation. Even now also Nitya Srishti is going on. People are begetting, begetting children. That is Nitya Srishti. So like that. So you have spoken about these things. And then Sthana also you spoke about in fifth canto. The different planetary systems, different divisions, different kinds of facilities for different category of people. How the Lord maintains all of them by providing them all these facilities in certain rules and regulations for a particular place, etc. So now, please speak about Poshana. Now he's going to talk about Poshana. So, Parikshit Maharaj, having stated what he had heard till now, so then he's asking a question. Please tell me for these people also how they can be freed from this hellish condition. So now, Sukadeva Goswami is going to test. So, my dear student, you said that you have heard this. So, hearing is one thing, but have you understood the essence of what you have heard? So, now he is going to test the understanding of Parikshit Maharaj. आपने बहुत सुना था अभी तक, काफी एक दो दिन हो गया होगा अभी तक, बिकॉज होल सेकंड कैंटो, होल थर्ड कैंटो, होल fourth canto, होल fifth canto. So in one sense, 4 cantos are completed till now. So at least 2 to 3 days must have been completed. 2 days must have been completed. तो इतना सुना था आपने, मैं देखता हूँ आपने कितना समझ में आ गया. So with that intention, Sukadeva Goswami is going to speak something, and he will ask. He will tell something saying that okay, this is the solution for the people who are on the path to hell, can be avoided going to hell. For which Parikshit Maharaj will tell his answer, his understanding based on what he heard from Sukadeva Goswami. So like that, the discussion will go ahead. Now first, Sukadeva Goswami is trying to test Parikshit Maharaj's understanding of what he spoke till now by giving a general opinion, testing the proficiency of his student Parikshit to understand his opinion on the matter. Sukadeva Goswami first gives the process of atonement according to karma in 2 verses. So now he will give prayachitta as a solution for this thing, that is called the process of atonement, or he actually prescribes karma yoga is the proper solution. One should follow karma yoga. You only said by practicing sakama karma one will go to heaven, by practicing nishkama karma one will be qualified to attain liberation. So one should practice karma yoga. Especially karma yoga here means sakama karma, not nishkama karma yoga. So sakama karma. So whatever sakama karma you told, na, by practicing sakama karma they will not go to hell, they will go to heaven. They should practice karma. Then they will not go to hell and they will not go through punishment. Yes. So that is how he answers. Sukadeva Goswami answers. Sri Sukha Uvacha.
Sri Sukha Uvacha.
Nached Nachediva Ivaipa Chitameta Etam Hasa.
न चेतिहैवापि चितं यतां सः
कृतस्य कुर्यान्मन उक्तपाणिभिः.
कृतस्य कुर्यान्मन उक्तपाणिभिः
ध्रुवं स वै प्रेत्य नरकानुपैति.
ध्रुवांश्च वै प्रेत्य नरकान् उपैति
ये कीर्तिता मे भवतस्तिग्मयातना.
ये कीर्तिता मे भवता यातना. Translation. Sukadeva Goswami replied, My dear king, if before one's next death, whatever impious acts one has performed in this life with his mind, words, and body are not counteracted through proper atonement according to the description of the Manu Samhita and other Dharma Shastras, one will certainly enter the hellish planet after death and undergo terrible sufferings, as I have previously described to you.
Yeah. Sukadeva Goswami says now, if a person does not perform atonement for sins committed by his mind, words, or actions, manasa, vacha, karmana, mana, ukta, panibi. This is by mind, by words, by activities. Actions are done by hands. So in that way, he will certainly attain those hells which inflict intense pain after death, which were described by me. Dhruvam sa why pretya narakanupeti. Pretya means after death. After death, one will certainly go to hell and experience sinful reactions if one does not, if one has not performed prayachitta. If one has not performed atonement for whatever sinful activities one has performed. If one is not performed any atonement, if one person definitely will go to hell and experience punishments. This I have told already. As I told, this is what happens. So what is the solution? Prayachitta. One should perform uh, some rectification rituals. As a result of that, one is freed from that reaction and one will not go to hell and one will not experience hellish punishments. This is the solution he is giving. If one does not perform atonement for sins committed by his mind, words, or actions, singly or together, one attains hell with terrible pain. Whether one is performed sinful activities, either oneself or one's family members, friends, or relatives, whatever, so all of them are individually, one should perform atonement so that one can be avoided going to hell for one sinful activity. So he further he strengthens his argument. Whatever he said, atonement should be performed without fail, parachita should be performed. So in order to establish his answer, he is speaking more. Tasmat puraiva tuya papa nishkrutau.
तस्मात् पुरैवाश्विह पापनिष्कृतौ
Yete mrutyor avipadyatatmana.
यतेत मृत्योरविपद्यतात्मना
Doshasya drishtva gurulagavam yata.
दोषस्य दृष्ट्वा गुरुलाघवं यथा
Vishachikistena rujam nidanavet.
विषचिकित्सेतरुजां निदानवे. Therefore, before one's next death comes, as long as one's body is strong enough, one should quickly adopt the process of atonement according to Shastra. Otherwise, one's time will be lost and the reaction of his sins will increase. As an expert physician diagnoses that and treats a disease according to its gravity, one should undergo atonement according to the severity of one's sin.
Yeah. Therefore, while living in this world, before one attains death, before one dies, one should strive to destroy sinful reactions while the body is not afflicted. That means while the person is still in good health, before the body dwindles and one becomes bedridden. Just as a doctor who knows the causes of disease, seeing the gravity of lightness of the disease, prescribes a cure. Just like a doctor looking at the symptoms of the disease, will prescribe the cure, will prescribe the medicine, so that by following which a person can be cured of one's disease. Similarly, the Shastra prescribes what kind of atonement one should do for what kind of sinful activity. Follow Shastra, perform atonement, and become freed so that you will not go to hell. Simple solution. So before death, quickly one should do this. Otherwise, if there is much delay, one must perform double the atonement because the condition will be twice as serious. If we make a sin now, if we don't atone for it now, we have to go through double punishment. At the time, more time, if we wait, just like we borrow from someone, if we don't pay back immediately, we will have to pay the interest as well as the principal amount. The interest will become much more if you prolong the time, prolong the duration. Same way, if you don't perform atonement right now, after a long time, if you want to perform atonement, you have to perform double atonement. Otherwise, you will get double punishment. So like that. One should do this while the body is unafflicted, while the body is still intact, not when one becomes bedridden. When the body is diseased, it is impossible to perform atonement activities. One should search out as an expert in Dharma Shastra who can decide what should be done, just as one approaches a doctor who can see the seriousness and significance of a disease. Just like doctor looking at the symptoms of a disease, prescribe the kind of medicine. Similarly, the Shastra also prescribes what kind of atonement we should perform for a particular kind of sinful activity. So follow Shastra, perform atonement as long as the body is intact. When body is dwindled, you can't do. When body is dead, you can't do. So do it when there is a possibility. So like that. So this is the answer. Yeah, my dear Parashit, you only told by following Pravritti Dharma one is going to heaven only. Follow. Follow Pravritti Dharma. If you have done some sinful activities, perform atonement, which is prescribed in the Pravritti Dharma scriptures, then you will never go to hell. Pakka solution. So like that. This is how Sukadeva Goswami is. By giving this answer, by prescribing atonement, prachita rituals or Pravritti Dharma, he want to test Parikshit Maharaj. What kind of understanding Parikshit Maharaj has about this Pravritti Marga? So now, the next two verses, Parikshit Maharaj will answer his understanding. King Parikshit criticizes atonement, saying it is unacceptable in two verses. Hare Krishna, someone is saying something? After discussing these two verses, we'll take some questions. We'll take after these two verses because Sukadeva Goswami said something and let us see what Parikshit Maharaj is saying about it. दृष्ट्वा श्रुताभ्यां यत् पापं
दृष्टाश्रुत्याभ्यं यत्पापं
जानन् अपि आत्मनो हितम्
जानम् अपि आत्मनो हितं
करोति भूयो विवशः
करोति भूयो विवशः
प्रायश्चित्तम् अतो कथम्
प्रायश्चित्तो अतो कथम्. The king said, though the jiva knows that sinful acts are detrimental by seeing and hearing, he helplessly commits sin again. What is the use of atonement?
When you are reading, kindly read from the book. There is a small changes in the translation which is there in the slides in the book also. Yeah. So
I'll read it.
Here, read Prabhuji, book se follow.
Maharaj Parikshit said, one may know that sinful activity is injurious for him because he actually sees that a criminal is punished by the government and rebuked by people in general, and because he hears from scriptures and learned scholars that one is thrown into hellish conditions in the next life for committing sinful acts. Nevertheless, in spite of such knowledge, one is forced to commit sins again and again, even after performing acts of atonement. Therefore, what's the value of such atonement?
The Prabhupada elaborates the meaning of this particular two lines of the shloka. Basically, drishta, shruta, ubhayam, et papam. We hear about papa. We see the papa. People committing sinful activities, people going through punishment for the sinful activities. We see all these things. But still, janan, api, atmano ahitam. Still, in spite of knowing that this is not good for atma, atmano ahitam, it is not beneficial for atma. Still, karoti bhuyo vivashaha. Still one performs again. How? Vivashaha. Vivahata means helplessly. He does not avoid doing it. It does as if somebody else is forcing one to do it. Just like Arjuna asked the question, in the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So what was that verse? Kamayesha Krodesha, that verse ke pehle. Arjuna asked the question that why people perform sinful activities after hearing everything about karma yoga. Then Arjuna asked why all these people are performing sinful activities. It appears as if they are doing all these activities as if forced by somebody else, pushed by somebody else. They are not willing to do all these things, but they are forced to do all these things. By what reason? For that answer, Lord Krishna says, Kamayesha, Krodayesha, Rajoguna Samudbhavaha, Mahasheno, Mahapapma, Vidyena, Miha Vairina. So, Arjuna asked the question, Atakena Prayuktoyam, Papam Charati Purusha. My dear Lord, why people perform Papam Charati Purusha? Anichannapi, even though they don't want to do it. Baladiva Niyojasi, as if somebody is pushing one to perform sinful activities by force. Why? What is pushing one to do it helplessly? Then Lord Krishna says, Kama Esha. It is only the desire. It is only Kama Esha, Krodha Esha, Rajoguna Samudva, Mahashano, Mahapapma, Vidyena, Meyavairana. The greatest enemy, very difficult to control. What? Kama. The desire. Desire to get something quickly. Desire to attain one something without going through austerities, without going through difficulties, without going through tapasya. One wants to have quickly, just like that. That is called papa. So here Parikshit Maharaj says that though the jiva knows that sinful acts are detrimental by seeing and hearing, he helplessly commits sin again and again. What is the use of atonement? A person performs sinful activity, then performs atonement. Again, when there is a opportunity movement, so again one performs sinful activity. Again, coming to his senses, performs atonement. Again performs sinful activity. Again performs atonement. So what is the use? So like that Parikshit Maharaj is saying. This is his understanding about this. One sees a king punishing a criminal and hears about the punishment in hell and understands that the sin is not beneficial. It is seen that a person commits that same sin again and even after doing the atonement. How does atonement destroy the sin? पाप किया, प्रायश्चित भी किया, and one knows that king is punishing and Yamaraj is punishing there. One may go through punishment also, but still at another opportune moment one again commits sin. So what can be done? How does atonement destroy the sin? It is not useful so much. The sin has been destroyed. He will not commit sin. If the sin has been destroyed, he will not commit sin again. If atonement is perfect process, why is he doing the sin again? Why is he getting inspired to do it again? So I don't see it is of much beneficial. And now in the next verse he says that it is like Kunjara Sauchavat. It is like the elephant bathing. The elephant goes to river, takes a nice bath, it comes out and takes the sand and puts up on his back. Again the whole body becomes dusty. So what is the use of taking bath? Taking bath is like atonement. Because body is filled with dust, it goes and takes bath and comes back again put the dust. There is no use of taking bath. So like that. Atonement is like that. Kachin nivartate badrat.
क्वचिन्निवर्तते भद्रात्
Kachin charati tat punaha.
क्वचिच्चरति तत्पुनः
Prayachittam matopartam.
प्रायश्चित्तमतो पार्थम्
Manne kunjara sauchavat.
मन्ये कुञ्जरशौचवत्. Sometimes one who is very alert so as not to commit sinful acts is victimized by sinful life again. I therefore consider this process of repeated sinning and atoning to be useless. It is like bathing of an elephant. For an elephant cleanses itself by taking a full bath, but then throws dust over its head and body as soon as it returns to the land.
Yeah. Kvachin nivartate abhadrat. Understanding that this papa is not at all good for one. Abhadra means not good. So one does not perform that sin. Nivartate. For after some time, kvachit charatat punaha. After once again, when there is the opportunity for doing sin, again they perform sin. Prachittam atopartam, how prachit is helping one? So it is not much useful. Manne kunja sauchavas. The prachita is like kunjar saucha, the elephant bathing. So it is not of much use. Sometimes in youth one refrains from sin, but again one commits sin in old age. Therefore atonement is useless. The elephant after bathing dirties himself with dust. So performing prachita rituals are like elephant bathing. It is not of much useful. So like that. So in that way, the Prashri Madhara said that Swakam karma is not of much use. So any questions till now? Hare Krishna.
No.
All the doers are good follow.
Oh, Prabhuji.
Yeah. If there are no questions, we'll take for a few minutes break and then we'll continue.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Devotees are there?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, Parikshit Maharaj made a request. Please tell me how these people can be saved from going through hellish punishment. In order to test the understanding of Shastra, understanding of what he had till now, Sukadeva Goswami says they should perform prayachitta. As long as the body is good, they should perform prayachitta so that they will not go to hell. Instead, they will go to heaven by performing prayachitta and the dharmic activities. So the Parishit Maharaj says, my dear sir, that is fine, but unfortunately, this prayachitta does not help them in the long run. So right now, the prayachitta may remove the sinful reaction, but the desire is there as it is. The desire will not go away. Again, when there is an opportune moment, they will again perform sinful activities. So how far it is not useful? So now, in the next two shlokas, okay, my dear Parikshit, what you said is right. Karma, rituals does not help one, but tapasya, jnana will definitely will help because jnana will help one stay away, abstain from all these sinful activities. So one will be protected from going to hell. Like that, in the next two verses, Sukadeva Goswami will present jnana as a solution. By presenting a conclusion, Sukadeva Goswami again tests King Parikshit, who has passed the test by presenting jnana, opinion of the jnanis and the atonement process. So previously he said atonement. Parikshit Maharaj said no. Now we will say jnana. We want to see, will Parikshit Maharaj accept jnana to be the proper solution? So in that way. Sri Badarayani Ruvacha
Sri Badarayana
Karmana Karma Nirharo
Karmana Karma Nirharo
Nahi Atyantika Ishyate
Yatyantika Ishyate
Avidvad Avidvad Adhikaritvat
Avidvad Adhikaritvat
Praya Chittam Vimarshanam.
Prayashchittam Vimarshanam. Sukadeva Goswami, the son of Vedvyasa, answered, my dear king, since acts meant to neutralize impious actions are also fruitive, they will not release one from the tendency of fruitivity. Persons who subject themselves to the rules and regulations of atonement are not at all intelligent. Indeed, they are in the mode of darkness. Unless one is freed from the mode of ignorance, trying to counteract one action through another is useless because this will not uproot one's desires. Thus, even though one may superficially seem pious, he will undoubtedly be prone to act impiously. Therefore, real atonement is enlightenment in perfect knowledge, Vedanta by which one understands the supreme absolute truth.
Yeah. Completely counteracting sin is not at all possible by performing atonement. Or it is done out of ignorance. Real atonement is attaining jnana. The rituals anyone can perform, whether a person understands the understanding of ritual, the concept behind the ritual, he knows that he has done a mistake and he will go to a pandit and pandit will say, do this ritual and he will get freed. So he doesn't know, he don't need to have complete knowledge about the ritual, complete knowledge about how the sin, dharma, papa, punya works. Anyone can do ritual. So in that way, with improper understanding of what is what is not, what is to be done, what is not to be done, anyway, one will tend to perform sinful activities again and again. But a personal knowledge will never do that. Like that. Having the proper understanding of what is what, one will never do such a sinful activity. So that is the solution Sukadeva Goswami gives. By atonement, there cannot be complete destruction of the sin, but there can be quick relief. अटोनमेंट किया था रिलीफ मिला, बट अगेन पाप करेंगे, अगेन अटोनमेंट करने का अगेन रिलीफ मिलेगा, बिकॉज ऑफ द कंडीशन ऑफ द जीवा who is qualified by ignorance. Jiva by nature is ignorant, but by enabling one to attain proper knowledge, one will abstain from performing sinful activities. One is saved, like that Sukadeva Goswami is saying. Sin appears repeatedly because of the presence of the seed of sin, that is ignorance. The seed of sin is ignorance. Avidya kama karmabhi. Kunti Maharani offered so many prayers while Krishna was departing after Mahabharat battle. So in one of the prayers she says that Bhavesmin Klishyamananam Avidya Kama Karmabhi Shravana Smaranarani Karichanit. He says that Bhavesmin Klishyamananam, the people in this world are all perpetually miserable condition. Why? Because they have performed karma, papa karma. Why they performed kama karma? Because the kama, because the sinful desires. Why they performed sinful? Why they developed sinful desires? Because of avidya. Avid, the seed of one's misery. Because of lack of proper knowledge, proper jnana, proper understanding, one is performing, one developing sinful desires, one performing sinful activities, and one is in misery. So, yes, the chief atonement is jnana, vimarshanam. Since jnana removes ignorance. Vimarshana means proper understanding of what is dharma, what is adharma, what is punya, what is papa, how reaction will come, how reaction will be eradicated. Proper understanding, if one knows what is what, one will not perform such kind of sinful activities. Then Parikshit Maharaj says, what if one is sinful, then his heart is impure? How then can he practice jnana? You are telling jnana is the proper solution, but unka heart is pura proper वृत्ति से भरा है. How can the jnana will, how can he practice jnana? To practice jnana, heart should be pure and one should be determined to undertake so many austerities, tapasya, etc. The heart is filled with so many sinful desires. So how can one practice jnana? So then, Sukadeva Goswami says, how can one practice jnana? नाश्नतः पत्यमेवान्नम् नाश्नतः पत्यमेवान्नम् व्याधयो अभिभवन्ति
व्याधयो अभिभवन्ति
एवं नियमकृत् राजन्
एवं नियमकृद्राजन्
शनैः क्षेमाय कल्पते.
शनैः क्षेमाय कल्पते. My dear king, if a deceased person eats the pure, uncontaminated food prescribed by a physician, he is gradually cured and the infection of disease can no longer touch him. Similarly, if one follows the regulative principles of knowledge, he gradually progresses towards liberation from material contamination.
So if one's heart is impure, how can one practice jnana? That is the question. The answer is, diseases do not afflict those who eat proper food. Even though there is a disease, but if one takes proper dietary restriction food, the disease does not aggravate. Similarly, one who follows rules gradually becomes qualified for jnana. Even though one's heart may be impure, filled with so many sinful desires, but one follows the rules and regulations given by Vedic literatures with proper restriction, slowly, the heart is getting purified and will be able to take jnana and able to practice that jnana seriously. So like that. Then Parikshit Maharaj says, yes, that is true. But jnana will give relief from the sin, like atonement only. Yes, same thing. Yeah, jnana is there so that one understand that one should not do it. Yeah, that will, one should not do it. One forcefully controls. I should not do, I should not do, I should not do. So one gets relief, fine. An example is given. Just as sickness does not affect persons who eat proper food, a person who follows rules of jnana can gradually destroy sin. Two verses elaborate on this. So what kind of rules and regulations of scriptures one should follow, by which even though one may have the sinful desire, one will not act upon that. So what do you mean by practicing the rules and regulations of the Vedic literatures? That will be explained in next two verses. Sukadeva Goswami will give proper rules and regulations, which whose practice is called jnana. Tapasa brahmacharyena
तपसा ब्रह्मचार्येण
samena cha damena cha
समेन च दमेन च
त्यागेन satya sauchabhyam
त्यागेन सत्यशौचाभ्यं
yamena niyamena va
यमेन नियमेन वा
देहवाग बुद्धिजम धीरा
देहवाग्बुद्धिजन्धीरा
धर्मज्ञ श्रद्धयान्वितः
धर्मज्ञा श्रद्धयान्वितः
क्षिपन्ति अगम महद्
क्षिपन्ते अगं महदपि
वेणुगुल्मम् इवानला.
वेणुगुल्मान् इवानलः हरे कृष्ण.
Read the translation, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. To concentrate the mind, one must observe a life of celibacy and not fall down. One must undergo the austerity of voluntarily giving up sense enjoyment. One must then control the mind and senses, give charity, be truthful, clean, and non violent. Follow the regulative principles and regularly chant the holy name of the Lord. Thus, a sober and faithful person who knows the religious principles is temporarily purified of all sins performed with his body, words, and mind. These sins are like the dried leaves of creepers beneath a bamboo tree, which may be burned by fire, although their roots remain to grow again at the first opportunity.
By avoiding enjoyments, by avoiding association with women, tapasa. Tapasa means by avoiding enjoyments. Tapasya. Brahmacharyena, by avoiding association with women. By controlling the mind, shamena, as much as possible. And by controlling the external senses, dhamena. Controlling the mind, shama. Controlling the senses, dhama. Tyagena, by giving in charity. Satya sauchabhyam, by following yamas like non-violence and niyamas like japa. Yamena, niyamena cha. Satya sauchabhyam means satya means speaking truthful always. Sauchabhyam means internal and external cleanliness. So in that way, the wise men, Dehavag Buddhijam Dhira, Dhira is the wise men, the knowers of Dharma, filled with faith, destroy even the great sin, Mahat Agam Api, arising from the body, words, and intelligence. Dehavag Buddhijam. Deha is body, Vak is words, and Buddhijam means intelligence. Just like fire destroys Klampa bamboos. Venugulmam Ivanala. Venugulmam means bamboo trees. So in the forest, the two bamboo trees rub each other, and by their rubbing, they produce spark, and that spark will destroy the entire forest, consisting of all the bamboo trees. Similarly, this body, in which currently we are residing, the gross body, subtle body, which has got so many senses and all body limbs, they can be used to execute all these things. For practicing tapasya, brahmacharya, sama, dhamma, tyaga, satya, saucha, yama, niyama, all these things. By doing all these things, the same body, which is the source of sinful activities, when the same body used to practice all these austere activities, these activities will burn the body into ashes. When the body itself is burned to ashes, when how can one practice sinful activities? So no way. When the body is completely destroyed like the forest fire, by the practice of severe austerities, tapasya, etc., then how can one perform sinful activities? Not possible at all. Tapasa means absence of enjoyment. Brahmacharyana means not associated with women. Shamena means controlling the mind as much as possible. Dhamena means by controlling the external senses. Tyagena means by charity. Yamena means by non-violence and other restrictions. Niyamena means by pride, japa and other Vedic injunctions. So, so like that, he gives a proper solution, proper prescription. What kind of rules and regulations one should practice from the Vedic literatures, and that practice is called jnana, and that jnana will stop one performing sinful activities and go into hell and go into sinful reaction. This suggestion also Sukadeva Goswami is giving to test Parikshit Maharaj's understanding of Shastra. In the example of the fire destroying bamboo, it is possible that the bamboo can grow up again. So even though there is a forest fire, the entire bamboo trees are completely burnt to ashes. There is a possibility that some bamboo seeds might be entered into the cracks of the earth, or the roots of the tree are still inside the earth. The above the surface of the earth, everything is burnt to ashes. But something either seeds or roots which are there inside the ground, they may be there. And eventually in the rainy season when there is heavy rain, these seeds may fructify. The root may again sprout further and may again grow further. The practice of jnana is like that. Even only practicing jnana without any bhakti, only hardcore jnana alone, the hardcore jnana is like the forest fire. Externally, there is nothing will remain. Everything is burnt to ashes, no activities. But one becomes dry like marubhumi. But when there is a heavy rain, with some seeds or roots which are hidden inside the earth, they will shoot up. They will produce a new tree. Similarly, when one practices austerities for long time, one when suppresses one's desires for long time, when there is a desire, again they will produce. When there is a not desire, when there is a opportunity, when there is a right opportunity, again they will manifest. Like that, jnana not a good solution. Thus, even after practicing jnana, sins can reappear. Seeing the dissatisfied king, Parikshit. So when Sukadeva Goswami gave the solution of jnana, which is like the forest fire, Parikshit Maharaj is not at all happy. My dear sir, this, even though it is burning, jnana is like the forest fire, burning the entire forest, but there can be some seeds or some roots inside the earth which are not burnt by the forest fire. When there is a rainy season, they will again grow up. They will sprout up, shoot up. Then what is the use? Parikshit Maharaj, without saying any word, just by his facial expression, he conveyed his understanding. So looking at the dissatisfied nature of Parikshit Maharaj, now Sukadeva Goswami gives his own opinion. Previously, he gave the opinion of the Mimamsakas and Sankhya's. Mimamsakas say karma is the ultimate solution. Sankhya say that jnana is the ultimate solution. But Parikshit Maharaj is not at all okay with those both the solutions. So now Sukadeva Goswami will give his own opinion. Seeing the dissatisfied king, Parikshit, Sukadeva Goswami then speaks about the solution according to the devotees, as per the opinion of Sanatanas. God himself is going to speak now. This is his opinion. केचित् केवलया भक्त्या
केचित् केवलया भक्त्या
वासुदेवापरायणा
वासुदेवापरायणा
आगम दुन्वन्ति कार्ष्णेया
अगम दुन्वन्ति कास्नेया
निहारमिव भास्करः.
निहारम् इव भास्करा. Only a rare person who has adopted complete unalloyed devotional service to Krishna can uproot the weeds of sinful actions with no possibility that they will revive. He can do this simply by discharging devotional service, just as the sun can immediately dissipate fog by its rays.
Yeah. Now, by quoting one analogy, he will give bhakti as the permanent solution. Some persons who surrender to Krishna completely destroy sins only by pure bhakti, just as sun destroys fog. Especially in winter season, early in the morning when you get up, you see everywhere there is fog. You can't see anything clearly. But after sun rises, maybe in 1 hour, the entire fog is completely removed. You can't even see a trace of fog. So in the case of karma, karma is like the elephant bath. So as long as the elephant is inside the water, it is clean. As soon as it comes out, it puts the dirt again. So as long as one is performing atonement, one is pure. After atonement is performed, again he starts performing sin. So that karma is like elephant bathing. And jnana is like the forest fire. Externally everything is null. The forest fire was burnt into ashes by the fire, but the root or the seed is still there inside the ground. When there is rain, it will sprout up. So this may happen rarely, not immediately, but after a long time it will take place. Things will come back again. But in the case of bhakti, it is like the fog which is evaporated by the sunlight. After 7 a.m. or 8 a.m., you don't see after the proper sunlight comes, you don't see any trace of the fog. Everything is completely empty. So like that. So Kechit Kevalaya Bhaktiya Vasudeva Parayana. So what kind of bhakti? Kevala Bhakti. It is not a Mishra Bhakti or any other mixed Bhakti or motivated Bhakti. It is Kevala Bhakti. One should actually perform Vasudeva Parayana Kevala Bhakti. Perfect, fully surrendered Kevala Bhakti when one performs, any trace of desire will be evaporated. No trace of desire will remain in the heart of the devotee. Like that. Agam Dunvanti Karshnena, Niharam Yo Bhaskara. Karshnena means completely. Just like Surya, he will take away Niharam, the fog, completely by his sunlight. Similarly, Kevala Bhakti will take away everything. So if all such kind of sinful desires have not gone from our heart, means we are not practicing Keval Bhakti. Only for the people who are practicing Keval Bhakti, this is possible. For others who are not practicing Keval Bhakti, still there are sinful desires, sinful activities, corresponding misery will be there. Some here indicates that Kechit means some. Here indicates that those who surrender to Lord Vasudeva are very rare. केवलया भक्ति practice करने वाला बहुत कम है, इसलिए केचित word is used. Not that anyone and everyone can practice it. Kevalaya Bhakti indicates that this bhakti is not only devoid of karma and jnana, devoid of expecting material benefits or liberation, but in no way depends on karma or jnana as secondary element. There will be no trace of karma or jnana in this Kevala Bhakti. Pure Bhakti, unallied devotional service. Completely, Karshnena indicates that sin is completely uprooted only by Bhakti and not by other processes. Just as only sun can destroy the fog, there is no other way. Fog can only be removed by sunlight, no other way. Similarly, Keval Bhakti alone can remove sinful desire. So, like that, Sukadeva Goswami now is giving the opinion of devotees or his own opinion. It is Bhakti which will remove the sinful desire. Kevala Bhakti alone will remove the sinful desire. So, there is no desire, there is no sinful activity. When there is no sinful activity, there is no hellish punishment. This is complete solution. In the case of karma, in the case of jnana, so there may be a temporary relief or a long relief, but when there is opportunity, there is a possibility of again sinful activity and sinful reaction. That is not a foolproof solution. This is how Sukadeva Goswami is giving his answer. And now he has given the answer that Kevala Bhakti will do the needful. He has to establish that. How Kevala Bhakti can do it? What Kevala Bhakti can do it? What kind of potency Kevala Bhakti has to do this? Such kind of things will be narrated now in the next verses. Natata hi agavan rajan
तथा यज्ञवान् राजन्
पूयेता tapadibihi
पूयेत तपादिभिः
yata krishnarpita pranas
यथा कृष्णार्पितप्राणा
Tatpurusha Nishevaya.
Tatpurusha Nishevaya. My dear king, if a sinful person engages in the service of a bona fide devotee of the Lord and thus learns how to dedicate his life unto the lotus feet of Krishna, he can be completely purified. One cannot be purified merely by undergoing austerity, penances, brahmacharya, and the other methods of atonement I have previously described, which I have previously described.
Yeah. O king, a sinful person cannot become purified by austerities or other processes to the extent that the devotees who offer their lives to Krishna become purified by service to the Supreme Lord. Na tatahi agavan rajan puyeta tapa adibi yata krishnarpita panas. When the complete purification takes place, krishnarpita pranas tat purushas nishevaya. Fully, when one is completely dedicated to service of the Supreme Lord, then only there is complete removal of sinful desires. In all other cases, there is no possibility at all. Even though apparently it appears that for some time there is no trace of sinful reactions, sinful desires, but when there is right opportunity, they will sprout up. Bhakti Devi should not be used for the insignificant actions of pacifying sin. Bhakti Devi is not for uh, removing sinful reactions. Bhakti Devi is not meant for washing away the sinful reactions. Bhakti Devi is actually meant for serving the Supreme Lord. So in that way. Sukadeva Goswami presents the opinion of the learned according to scriptures while criticizing other opinions. So tapa adibi means jnana and karma, they don't have any comparable standing with the bhakti. And even one may say that okay, that means bhakti can purify one. No, not like that. Bhakti is not meant for purification. Purification takes place as a byproduct. But bhakti is meant for raising Krishna prema, for awakening Krishna prema. Purpose of practicing bhakti is entirely different. One may say that I am practicing karma, I am practicing jnana to purify my heart, but bhakti is not for that. Bhakti is to awaken Krishna prema. The purification is a byproduct. Bhakti is actually not meant for purifying the heart. So in that way, it is said. The devotees offer their very lives to Supreme Lord, saying that the Lord may or may not throw me into hell for committing sin, in order to give me suitable teachings by punishment. The Lord is my goal, I am His. But the mentality of the people who are practicing bhakti, they never say that, my dear Lord, I am practicing bhakti, you please remove my sinful reaction, don't send me to hell and don't give me punishment, not like that. My dear Lord, if I have to go to hell, I'll go. If I don't have to go to hell, I'll not go. But I am practicing bhakti not for avoiding sinful reactions, but to serve you in person. So like that. So devotees have no desire to purify their sinful reactions. But karmis have the desire to purify their sinful reactions. The jnanis have fear of sinful reactions, so they perform severe austerities. But devotees are not like that. They are practicing bhakti to serve the Lord in person more and more. The devotee will say that I have performed sin. Why should the Lord remove that? I have to go through punishment, I will go through. So something like that. Offering himself to the Lord, the devotee thinks in this way. This is the thought of the devotee. If Lord wants, I'll go to hell. If the Lord does not send me, I'll not go. But I want to serve the Lord. That will be the desire of the devotee. What kind of devotee? Kevala Bhakta. He does not perform atonements to avoid hell. The devotees, Kevala Bhakta will never perform atonement for avoiding hell. Instead, the Kevala Bhakta practices pure bhakti. How does completely surrender manifest? How can by practicing Kevala Bhakti the complete surrender will take place? One performs service to the Lord. So when they constantly engage in serving the Supreme Lord, not serving oneself. Since one is performing service to Supreme Lord alone, all things will take place. So in that way. So the solution what he gave, he has to strengthen that solution. He has to establish that solution. That's why the sloka up to 19th will talk about how potent bhakti is. Even though I said bhakti will remove all the sinful reaction, bhakti actually not meant for that. Practice of bhakti is meant to awaken the Krishna Prema. But removing sinful reactions is a byproduct only. So like that, it is established. Hare Krishna, any questions till now?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Matish.
Prabhuji, I was just thinking that since the time the appearance of Sukadeva Goswami, and he heard the words, and he went back to his father for, hearing the Bhagavatam, to this point where he's speaking to Parikshit Maharaj, what was the time in between?
हाँ, आप लोग बताइए. आप लोग ये अभी तक 5वीं स्कंद तक भक्ति वैभव कर चुके.
Yeah, I'm still confused about this because, he was also present when Krishna was, Krishna took Pandavas to Bhishma Dev, and I'm really confused about Sukadeva Goswami's
No need to
age.
confuse. No need to confuse. Basically, when the Pandavas were in the forest,
Yeah,
Pandavas were in the forest for 12 years, na? 12, 13
yeah,
years.
13
So during
years.
that time only, around that time, Vyasadeva's wife became pregnant and she was carrying the baby for 13 long years. The child was not coming out only.
Hmm.
That time, Vyasadeva went to Krishna and called Krishna, and Krishna told, so my dear son, why are you not coming out? He said, if as soon as I come out, Maya will capture me. But your father told that you will not be captured by Maya. Then Sukadeva Goswami says, no, no, my father himself is captured by Maya by entering into household order. I don't believe his words.
Mm-hmm.
So then I requested my father to call that someone who is the master of Maya. By his assurance only I will not come out. So hearing those words, Vyasadeva called Krishna now. So now Krishna said that, my dear son, don't worry, you come out, Maya will not touch you. Then Sukadeva Goswami came out of the womb, and he was 13 years old boy. He was born and immediately grew up to 16-year-old boy. Sweet 16 years. He instantly became youth after his birth. Then he started walking out of the home. So father said, my dear son, where are you going? We waited all these years so that we can have you. And son told, I have already told you, I don't want to get into Maya. These are all Maya only. I am going. Father said, please don't go, please don't go. Son said, going. So he went. In order to bring him back, because Vyasadeva sent his disciples to forest. You should keep reciting Bhagavatam shlokas whenever he get to hear, and he will come to me. So then the woodcutters were reciting the Bhagavatam shlokas he heard, and he asked them, so who taught you all these shlokas? They said, our guru is nearby only, at the ashram here nearby. Sukadeva Goswami came there and he heard the entire Bhagavatam, whatever Bhagavatam was there at that time. Basically, in essence, the philosophy, Bhagavad philosophy, everything, and then Krishna also. Then he said again, yes, I am going back. So Bhagavatam 9th canto says that Sukadeva Goswami this time, he expanded himself into two. The original form went to forest, his duplicate form stayed at home and get married and begot children. So that Vyasadeva can have the experience of having son with him.
Oh.
So when he went to forest, so in the meantime, Pandavas Vanvas is over, Mahabharat battle happened. At the end of the battle, Bhishma spoke, Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami personally was there, he heard, and again he was wandering here and there. So many years passed, Yudhishthira Maharaj was ruling, Parikshit Maharaj was made king, he was also ruling for some time, he was cursed to die one day. And that time Sukadeva Goswami again came and spoke Bhagavatam to him. So like that.
Yeah, because the way he is talking about the glories of bhakti, I was just thinking the conviction from being a Brahmavadi and hearing Bhagavatam from his father and speaking to this extent. We consider Bhagavatam is the scripture for practicing devotional service, and this is spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. So I was just thinking that how much time did he take to get so much convinced,
No, it is not about, see, here what's happening is a Leela. These are all Nitistha Bhaktas. So what is happening here around him is not the main cause of his bhakti. He's already a Bhakta because
Yeah.
he's already a Bhakta, but because of the tinge of that vairagya, he said, no, I don't want to get into all these worldly affairs. I want to stay away from all these things. So, in that way. That
So
is
we
how
should
have
see
to
it as a leela only, not like actually being a Brahmavadi coming to. Okay.
Yeah, in one sense, it apparently appears that I don't want to get into Maya, in the sense, 11th canto later on, you will see about the distinction between karma, jnana, and bhakti. Karma is about all the activities in this material world, performing all the activities for enjoyment and for renunciation also. And jnana is all about staying away from all material activities. Jnana means renunciation. First of all, first thing to do to practice jnana is renunciation. But bhakti is neither completely giving away material activities nor completely engaged in material activities. It is in between. Perform activities as service to Supreme Lord.
Yes.
Na nirvinno, na atisakto. Not too much attached to material activities and results, not too much detached from the material activities and results. So they do activities, they also accept the results, but not with attachment, not for the purpose of enjoyment, but to serve the Lord. That is bhakti. Bhakti is in between. So in that way.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhu.
But what Sukadeva Goswami is speaking, the entire Bhagavatam from the beginning to end, we see everything that he speaks is filled with vairagya. Wherever you see what Sukadeva Goswami speaks, filled with vairagya, because that is his personality. When he speaks, his personality comes out. In the, if you remember, recently we were discussing here in Monday, second canto, second chapter, first few verses, especially shloka 5 and 6, he speaks very strongly. So what is the use of begging from Dana Durmadanda? Why you have to work for a Dana Durmadanda? Asking for some money. You want to live? Live na. What is the problem? He was telling that why do you need soft bed when you have the arms as
You
pillow?
have the hand. Yeah.
And
Even
then
not
why
the
do you
vessel.
need luxurious home when you have caves? And why do you need silver vessel when you have palms?
Palms. Yeah, I know. I remember those. Yeah.
Why do you need beautiful clothes when the torn clothes are still on the streets? The tree barks are there. And why do you need to accumulate so many food grains in the home when there are so many rivers and so many plants are giving fruits and water freely? So, I mean, you see the level of renunciation there, level of vairagya. I mean, apparently, if you see for us, why so much austerity is required? Why so much vairagya is required? That is he. That is Sukadeva Goswami.
Yeah. True. Also, in terms of like, if you see so far, whichever devotees we have studied about, the prime lesson which we learn from all of them is detachment. It's where in one sense vairagya only. True.
Yes.
True. Okay, Prabhu.
Whenever he speaks about any devotee, he highlights this aspect, vairagya. Because he himself is that kind of person and he highlights that.
Yeah, very true.
That is there. Is the same Bhagavatam has been spoken by a Grihastha devotee, a person like Vyasadeva or something like that. He might have been much milder. He might not have been so strong. He would have been so milder, and he would say that, and gradually, धीरे धीरे करो. But Sukadeva Goswami, no, धीरे धीरे करना है तो पूरा अच्छे से करने का, नहीं तो नहीं. That's why he uses the words like Kevala Bhakti or Tivrena Bhakti Yogena.
Yeah.
So such kind of statements he uses many places. मतलब करना है तो बहुत जोर से करने का, ऊपर ऊपर करके कुछ फायदा नहीं. Like that.
Yeah. And this one, Parikshit Maharaj, when he speaks Bhagavatam, that is Brihad Bhagavatam to his mother, that's altogether, I mean, it's the essence of this Bhagavatam, I believe. He speaks something completely different, like, absolute bhakti only. Like, no, he does not speak about Vairagya there. In one sense, yeah, I mean, the subtle aspect is there of Vairagya, of course.
There is, see, for him, going back to God is important.
Yeah.
Whether going back to God is happening by Vairagya or by any other things, it doesn't matter. For
Yeah.
him, going back to Godhead, how? Gopakumara. Yes, Gopakumara chala gaya. Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's a householder. From the childhood, he is a householder. See, just
Yeah.
like when a speaker speaks Bhagavatam class, in
Hmm.
the audience we have different people. Every person will understand the same Bhagavatam only, but in a different way.
Different man. Yes.
That's how we have to see. Even though
Yeah.
Parishit
Very.
Maharaj is hearing from Sukadeva Goswami, the
Yeah.
essence is same, but the
Yeah.
details are different. So in that way.
Great. Thank you, bro. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna,
Okay.
Prabhuji.
Uh,
Prabhuji, when Shukadeva Goswami heard Srimad Bhagavatam, that time how it was in which form, like how here we see the different it's a conversation between Shukadeva Goswami and Parikshit. So when he
see,
himself heard,
say it's like currently, I mean, just to relate to this question, I'm saying this. We are discussing Bhagavatam now. So we are reading through slokas and I'm speaking and I'm also adding my understanding, something like that. So, for example, you take you only. You have heard from me and you also read Prabhupada purports. Okay. Then when you speak the Bhagavatam, will you repeat verbatim or will you speak the way you understood it?
yeah, the way I understood.
So, keeping Vyasdev aside, so Vyasdev spoke Bhagavatam to Parishit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami. He spoke whether he spoke everything as it is written here or he spoke the essence of the Bhagavatam, that we don't know. But Sukadeva Goswami heard it, and then later on when Sukadeva Goswami spoke to Parishit Maharaj, that discussion happened as it is written here. The conversation, what we are reading in the Bhagavatam, like that it happened. That is what is compiled by Srila Vyasdev.
Okay.
Srila Vyasdev compiled in advance only what is going to happen in the future. How these two people are going to converse with each other.
Oh, it was written in
Hmm.
advance only.
Obviously, Vyasdev wrote, compiled this Bhagavatam when Lord Krishna departed. And after 25 years, Sukadeva Goswami spoke this Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. And Sukadeva Goswami heard this Bhagavatam from Vyasdev about 35, 40 years before. Before
Okay.
Vyasdev compiled Bhagavatam.
Okay.
Hmm.
It is like Ramayana. Ramayana also was written even prior to the event of Lord Ram. All
No,
the
not like that. No. Ramayana was compiled when Mother Sita was in the ashram of Valmiki Muni. When Mother Sita came to the ashram of Valmiki Muni was inspired to compile Bhagavad Ramayana. He compiled Ramayana. The day when the compilation is over, that time the Lavakusha completed 11.5 years. Or 11 years, you can say. 11 years. When Mother Sita was staying in his ashram, that time only compiled Ramayana by the mercy of Mother Sita.
okay. Yeah.
Not before, during that time.
Okay. Because somewhere I had heard that Ram Ayana means he will come. That is why it was written like that.
No,
After
no.
that,
Rama,
Paksha was killed.
Ramayana means not like that. Ramayana means the journey of Lord Ram. Ayana means journey.
Okay.
So
Okay.
भगवान श्री राम का advent and other activities किस प्रकार का उनका जीवन जर्नी था, that is Ramayana.
Okay. Yeah, and one more thing I felt, means it's not a question, but just a comment that it is so important that see, like till now, at least third day must have been over of whatever the narration of Shukadeva Goswami. So in that also, Shukadeva Goswami is means only 4 days are remaining with Parikshit Maharaj. But
Hmm.
still, though, he's trying to test Parikshit Maharaj that whether he has understood what he has said.
Hmm.
So I feel it's quite striking that in that state also he And there is no doubt that Parikshit Maharaj is listening carefully. Still, he ensures by testing it.
That is the duty of the Guru.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go ahead. We'll do few more verses. Any other questions? Are there any other devotees?
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Ah,
Prabhuji, this you said that Sukadeva Goswami went to the forest one part. That is coming in the purport somewhere, right? In the
oh,
first
first
canto?
canto में आते हैं ना. He's going to forest.
हाँ
First
हाँ
canto,
okay
fourth
okay
chapter.
okay.
Fourth chapter में.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes,
Hmm.
Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
तदृचिनो हि अयं लोके
Hare Krishna. Sadrichino hya ayam loke
पन्ताक्षेमो कुटो भया
panta shemo kuta bhaya
सुशीला साधवो यत्र
sushila sadhavo yatra
नारायणपरायणा.
narayana parayana. Translation: The path followed by pure devotees who are well behaved and fully endowed with the best qualifications is certainly the most auspicious path in this material world. It is free from fear and it is authorized by the Shastras.
Yeah, the path followed by person who are friendly, uh, virtuous. Friendly means Sushila, virtuous is Sadhava, and surrender to Narayana, Narayana Para, is certain, auspicious. Hmm? Auspicious means Kema, and without fear of obstacles. Aktobayam. Here he is further establishing the path of bhakti. What do you mean by bhakti? What do you think about bhakti? Bhakti is practiced by especially those people who are friendly to everyone, who are virtuous by their conduct and character, and who are completely surrendered to Lord Narayana. Only Narayana Para can practice this Ekantika Bhakti or Ananya Bhakti. And they are friendly to everyone and they are the perfect sadhus. And that Bhakti, that Ananya Bhakti is Kshema Panta. This is the most auspicious path. There is no superior auspicious path than this. Sadrijino hi ayam loke panta kshemo. In this entire world, there is no more auspicious path than this bhakti. And akuto bayam, there is no fear of obstacles in this path. One should not say that bhakti yoga is for those who are not capable of practicing jnana, yoga, or austerities. Sadrijana means certain leading to the correct goal. People say that even today also outside when you go, they say that हाँ आप लोग कुछ नहीं कर सकते इसलिए भक्ति भक्ति बोलते रहते हैं हमेशा जब जब करते हैं हम राम कृष्ण कृष्ण। आप कुछ करके दिखाओ तभी मानेंगे हम आप कुछ ताकत वाला है because performing a ritual also it involves lot of endeavor, following tapasya also involves lot of endeavor, and performing ashtanga yoga and displaying the mystics with this they also involve lot of endeavor. अभी कुछ ऐसा करेंगे लोगों को लगेंगे कुछ कर रहे हर दिन बैठ के जपा करना कुछ है ही नहीं. So like that people actually undermine bhakti. But there is no better auspicious path than that bhakti. Tadrichnoi ayam loke pantaskemo kutobayam. That way. This is the best process in all respects. There is no fear of any obstacle. We saw karma, there is obstacle, elephant bathing. Jnana, there is obstacle, burning of the forest fire, burning due to forest fire. When there is rain, again it will come back. But bhakti is like sunlight. When the fog is removed, for the entire day, fog will not come again. So on this path, the practitioners are friendly to everyone. One need not fear that one will not have help as on the path of jnana. Jnana one practices alone, but bhakti people practice together. So in that way, one need not fear of people becoming envious as when practicing karma. So when people practice karma, others become envious because he is going to Swarga. Others become obviously envious. One person becoming prosperous by practicing Vedic rituals, the neighbor will become envious. And when to practice jnana, one stays alone. When one is staying alone, there is a possibility of falling down. But bhakti is performed in the midst of devotees, and devotees will never become envious of other devotees. So like that. So he is further establishing the glories of bhakti, the glorious position of bhakti. And then he further says, Prayachittani chirnani
Prayashchittani chirnani
narayana paranmukam
Narayana paramukam
na nishpunanti rajendra
Na nishpunanti Rajendra
surya kumbam ivapaga. Sorry, sura kumbam ivapaga.
Kumbhamivapaga. My dear king, as a pot containing liquor cannot be purified even if washed in the waters of many rivers, non-devotees cannot be purified by the process of atonement even if they perform them very well.
Mhm. Much atonement does not purify persons who are opposite to Narayana, just as many rivers do not clean a liquor pot. A pot filled with liquor, it absorbs that liquor. Wherever you may take that pot and wash with that water, the liquor smell will not go away. Similarly, a karmi, how many number of atonements one may undergo, but the desire to perform sin will never go away. The desire is always there, just like the smell of liquor in the liquor pot. But on the other hand, bhakti, it is not like that. First of all, bhakti is not meant for purification of the sin. Bhakti is meant for awakening Krishna consciousness. Bhakti is meant for awakening Krishna prema. The purification of the sinful desires, sinful activities is all a byproduct. Like that. Positive and negative statements are used to show that bhakti destroys all sin, whereas jnana and karma do not. The plural number is used to indicate that all karma and all jnana processes do not purify the person without faith in Lord Narayana, even after hearing about the excellence of bhakti and devotees. If one is simply practicing sakama karma without an element of bhakti, one is never purified. But if one adds bhakti to sakama karma, that becomes nishkama karma yoga. Then there is a chance of one getting purified. Bhakti along with karma or karma along with bhakti, when one practices, slowly, one gets purified. That is called nishkama karma yoga. One will eventually attain liberation. On the other hand, if one only practices jnana, hardcore jnana, there is a chance of re-sprouting the sinful desires. But when one adds bhakti to that jnana, that becomes jnana yoga. By practicing jnana yoga, one surely attain liberation. But if one practices kevala bhakti without any tinge of karma or jnana, one will awaken Krishna prema very quickly. So this is how without bhakti, other things cannot help one. Our bhakti alone can attain can give everything to one. So in that way, this is how the excellence of bhakti is getting established. Bhakti, however, purifies even those without jnana or karma, since that was stated in verse 15. Karma and jnana without bhakti cannot purify one. But bhakti alone can purify one even without karma or jnana. So this is the greatness of bhakti. Either you practice bhakti alone or you practice karma or jnana along with bhakti. In one of these three cases, you can get purified. If you practice karma alone, no chance. If you practice jnana alone, no chance. So like that. The last verse for today and last verse for this section is 19th verse. So now, having established the glories of bhakti, so then one may ask question, आप कितना theory बोलेंगे? अब बोलते जा रहे ये बड़ा वो बड़ा ये great वो great, कुछ example बताओ, ऐसा बड़ा था क्या? So now He is going to give an example. Sakranmana Krishna Padaravindayor
Sakrinmana Krishna Padaravindayor
Niveshitam Tadgunaragiyeriha
Niveshitam Tadgunaragiyeriha
Nateyamam Pashabrutascha Tadbatan
Nateyaman Pashabhritascha Tadvatan
Swapne Pipashyanti hi Chirna Nishkrita
Swapne api pashyanti hi chirna nishkritaha. Translation. Although having fully realized Krishna, persons who have even once surrendered completely unto his lotus feet and who have become attracted to his name, form, qualities, and pastimes are completely freed of all sinful reactions, for they have thus accepted the true method of atonement. Even in dreams, such surrendered souls do not see Yamraj or his order carriers, who are equipped with ropes to bind the sinful. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, persons who only once absorb their minds in Krishna's lotus feet, even in dream, swapnepi, not in reality, even in dreams, or even though the mind still has material attraction, do not see the servants of Yama, since they have accomplished all atonement by that remembrance. When one becomes Kevala Bhakta, even for once, in spite of having so many material desires in the heart, but still they don't even see the Yamadutas even in the dreams, then what to speak of seeing them in reality? It's like that. This purification does not depend on a solid basis of bhakti. So, bhakti is not meant for getting free from sinful reaction. Bhakti is meant for awakening Krishna prema. What do you mean by that? Is that even without practicing solid bhakti, but just once deciding to practice bhakti, even in spite of having so many material desires, one is not affected by any of the sinful reactions. Like that. This purification does not depend on a solid basis of bhakti. Even once remembering the Lord is sufficient. What to speak of many times. Even thinking with the mind is sufficient. What to speak of hearing or uttering the names of the Supreme Lord. See now, from now on, this next chapter and this chapter, we see so many big statements about bhakti. Apparently, it means that ये क्या हो रहा है मैं तो कितना decades कितना सालों से practice कर रहा हूँ कुछ हो नहीं रहा है मैं practice भक्ति कर रहा हूँ नहीं कर रहा हूँ. One thing is bhakti has the capacity to do all these things. At any time it can do. Sometimes there could be two reasons. It is happening because we are not practicing bhakti seriously, or it is not happening because bhakti is waiting. Bhakti Devi is waiting to work upon us. When the right time comes, she will work upon us. Like that we can see. The Lord is sufficient. Even once remembering the Lord is sufficient. What to speak of remembering continuously. So Sakran Manakrishna Padaravindayor. Even once remembering Lord's lotus feet within our mind is sufficient to get freed from sinful action. Then what to speak of practice remembering Lord's lotus feet continuously. Even thinking with the mind is sufficient. Then what to speak of hearing or uttering the names of the Lord. So remembering Lord's name within the mind is also sufficient. Then what to speak of uttering, chanting and doing kirtan, dancing, etc. The mind is materially attached. Sadguna ragi is sufficient. What to speak of a mind without material attraction? Even though there are so many material desires in the mind, still one is saved. Then what to speak of doing it with pure mind? Thinking even in dreams is sufficient. What to speak of actual meditation? Even swapnepi, even in dreams also if you think of the Supreme Lord, that itself is sufficient. One can gain relief from going to hell. Then what to speak of remembering the Lord when one is awake? Such persons have accomplished all atonement, Nishkriya. They've gone through all atonements and they are free. And their practice of bhakti is meant for awakening Krishna Prema, not for not going to hell. Like that. From this statement, the following should be also be understood. If a devotee practicing pure bhakti happens to commit sin again, It is like the bite of a snake without fangs. When a person becomes a devotee, practice taking up devotee wholeheartedly submitted to Supreme Lord, but still practices some sinful activity. That performance of sin is like biting of a snake without tooth. That means it has no poison. That biting may create some pain, but there is no poisonous effect on that. Those sins have no significant effect. That condition should not be compared to the elephant bathing, elephant taking bath, the karmi who again commits sins. So this kind of bhakti, even after surrender to Supreme Lord, one may tend to do some mistakes. That is not like karma. That is entirely a different. Because such kind of activities are like biting of a snake without poison. The condition should not be compared to the elephant taking bath, the karmi who again commits sin. It is said, Apiche Suduracharo Bhajate Mamananya Bhak Sadhureva Samantavya Samyak Vyavasthavisa. So like that. So that was the whole idea. So now Sukadeva Goswami said that finally, see, bhakti means even though bhakti if you practice in dreams, within the mind, even in reality also with whether even not externally within one's own mind also, one will never ever see Yamadutas. If one does not see Yamadutas, why would one go to Himaloka and why would one go through sinful punishment? So, so like that. तो आप बहुत बोल रहे बोल के बहुत हो गया। कोई ऐसा है क्या, कोई मन में ऐसा भगवान का नाम लिया, यमदूत उनको लेकर नहीं गए, कोई यमलोक पे गया नहीं, यमदूत उसको देखा नहीं, देन व्हाट स्पीक ऑफ गोइंग टू यमलोका? हाँ, यस, देयर वाज ए पर्सन, हिज नेम इज अजामिला. Now Sukadeva Goswami narrates a story to show the meaning of his statement. Hear from me that story in which there is a conversation of the servants of Yama and servants of Vishnu. So now the story of Ajamila will be narrated starting from text number 20. The remaining chapter is all about the story of Ajamila and then what happened afterwards, etc. The whole remaining first chapter and second chapter is all about Ajamila and Ajamila's deliverance. How Ajamila got second chance and he utilized the second chance and he went back to Godhead in spite of performing so many sinful activities. And this topic we will discuss in the next class. Next week, next Saturday, we will continue this. Hare Krishna. We will stop here. Thank you very much for joining.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guru.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Dandat Pranam.
Krishna. Thank you,
Grantadhar
Guruji.
Bhavanam
Namaste
ki.
now.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guru. Dandat.
Hare